Hey everyone, and welcome to the ultimate HTML and CSS course for 2024. I'm Ro, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this exciting journey into the world of web development. Whether you're looking to switch careers, enhance your skills, or simply explore a new hobby, you've come to the right place. HTML and CSS are the building blocks of the web. Every website you visit, every page you scroll through is built using these fundamental technologies. And the best part? You don't need any prior programming experience to get started. In this course, we'll start from the very basics, assuming you know nothing about programming. I'll walk you through every step, from setting up your development environment to creating your first web page. We'll cover everything you need to know to build a beautiful, responsive website that looks great on any device. By the end of this course, you'll have taken your first steps into the world of web development, with a solid understanding of HTML and CSS. I'll try to guide you through HTML and CSS the way that I wish I learned it 16 years ago when I first started programming. If you're ready to embark on this journey and kickstart 2024 with a valuable new skill, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Let's start off with what is HTML. So, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's essentially the standard language used to create and design web pages. Think of it as the backbone of every website you visit. It uses tags to structure content, making it possible for browsers to display text, images, and other elements in a coherent layout. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Imagine you've just built a beautiful house, but it's missing paint, curtains, and all the little details that make it feel like home. That's where CSS comes in. It's the language that styles your HTML. It adds the colors, fonts, layout, it makes your brand. So it's not only for enhancing the look of your website, but it also improves user experience, making your site more accessible and easier to navigate. Plus, with CSS, you can create responsive designs. So you can make your website look good on desktop, phones, tablets, and so on. So for the first step, head over to code.visualstudio.com. Right here, you will see a download button that will automatically detect your operating system. So in my case, Windows, but you can also download it for Mac OS and Linux. Left click on the installer and click Accept Agreement, click Next. Make sure you can create a desktop icon if you want. I personally will. And just make sure that Add to Path is checked. This is important. Click Next, click Install. And once your installation's done, hit Launch Visual Studio Code. You'll be greeted with a screen like this. Select Open Folder, and I'll go to my desktop and create a folder called My First Project, and then I'll hit Select Folder. What that'll do is open My First Project folder in my Explorer tab over here. I'll hit this icon to create a new file, and I'll call this index.html. You'll notice this is an HTML file because of the extension that says HTML and because of the less than greater than sign here. On the left-hand side, you'll see these 4 blocks, which is called extensions. Hit the extensions and download Live Server and download Prettier. Live Server is so we can see our changes being made live on our own port via the browser, and Prettier is a code formatter to make things neater and more readable. Head back to your index.html file and type in doc, and you can either left-click this or hit tab. And you'll notice that you get a very base HTML template. Don't forget to hit File, Save, or Control S. You'll notice a few tags. Now let's start with the basic structure of an HTML document. We have the HTML tag, which is the root of our document. Inside the HTML tag, we have the head and the body sections. The head section contains meta information about the document, like its title, while the body section contains the content that will be displayed on the web page. Let's begin by hitting Go Live at the bottom right to run your live server. Now you'll notice this little notification saying the server started at a certain port. You can just X out of that. And you'll notice that the web page is completely blank right now. But as I was stating earlier about the heading tags, is that we have a title here, and inside it's defaulted to document, which is exactly what it looks like over here on the tab. Let's change this to My First Web Page. As soon as I hit Control S, you'll notice that the changes go live right here. Now let's move on to the body section where we'll add our content. We'll start with a heading. HTML has 6 levels of headings, from H1 to H6, with H1 being the largest and H6 being the smallest. Let's use an H1 tag to create a main heading that says, "Welcome to my first web page." So I'll do less than sign, H1, greater than sign. So I'll add a few spaces in the middle just so you can see. This H1 represents the opening of our H1 tag. And this, the other side with the / in front of H1, represents the closing. This is important to let our browser and HTML document know where it begins and where it ends, because we don't want the whole web page to be in the H1 tag. So go ahead and in between these type in "my first web page" and hit Control S or save. And now you'll notice on your live server environment that you'll see "my first web page" pop up. Now for your first exercise in HTML, I want you to try to recreate this page. So what you will do is create headings 1 through 6 and label "this is heading 1, this is heading 2, and so on. Feel free to pause the video and check with me afterwards. Feel free to pause the video here and don't forget to use resources like Google, Stack Overflow, and maybe even ChatGPT to help you out. Remember that researching and finding solutions is a key part in becoming a good developer. Here's my code. Were you able to solve it? Leave a comment if you got it, or feel free to ask any questions. So what I did here was just have an opening and closing of the H1, H2, H3, so on, and in between, just like we had our "my first web page" text, I just replaced that with "this is heading 1, and then did the same thing for heading 2 and heading 3, and so on until heading 6. Next, let's hit enter a few times to create some room. And we'll add a paragraph of text using the P tag, which stands for paragraph. Let's write a short introduction about ourselves within the P tag. Once that's done, feel free to hit Control S or save in order to see it on your live server. Now, let's do another challenge. Now for this exercise, I want you to try to recreate this website, but feel free to change the hobby, the paragraphs, and just however you want. Just cater it to yourself. Pause the video here and let's go over the answer right after you finish. Now let's go over the code together. So, if you didn't notice, I actually changed the title to "My Favorite Hobby," which all I did was change the heading to "My Favorite Hobby." And now in the body tag, which is all the elements shown on the page itself, I added an H1 tag, an H2 tag as my subheading, and then I added this paragraph, which is my P tag, and then another H2 for my subheading, and another paragraph. And I repeated the process until I finished the assignment. Let me know in the comment below if these types of exercises where you recreate the site that I gave you is helping you learn. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and turn on that bell for more notifications. I'll be coming out with a video very shortly. Thank you.